Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks for joining me here. We're going to take a quick look here at Shiba Inu. If you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, this is just for educational purposes only, but I do recommend you check out my trading community. Link in the description below for that. Of course, I actually have a really good group of folks where we all learn and grow together, and I send out signals for every single trade that I take. Really awesome situation. Let's take a look here at Shiba Inu. Now, first of all, just to note, we do have pretty much a descending pattern here. And we'll take a look at that here closer, of course, but first and foremost, we want to take a quick look at the moving averages and also identify where we're at in RSI, MACD. So MACD, pretty much just see that we have that shift in momentum. That is pretty standard, but there is still definitely bullish momentum, but the volume is dissipating for bulls and essentially transitioning more so to bearish sentiment. At least that should happen soon. We'll see, obviously, if this support level here is tested. We're also going to double check with Fibonacci and see what's going on there as well for support and resistance levels. But bottom line here is RSI is doing very well. See how it's doing basically what we expected it to, where the RSI comes up, back down and bounces, or more importantly, just at least goes sideways. A lot of times it does bounce though, in a lot of cases, so we want to be aware of that. It's kind of that momentum shift or just bouncing off a support level, such as the RSI 70. So if you're new to the channel, 30, 50, 70 RSI, it creates itself in a channel where above or below those certain ranges can work as support and resistance levels. So let's just go ahead and pull up the Fibonacci, kind of see where we're at here for now. Let's go ahead and go to the 4-hour chart first. Also note, the 50-day simple moving average is going to intersect with the price action soon. That's fantastic. That could work as a support level. And let's go ahead and grab this here. So as you can see, the support level here is still holding right around $1.27. Obviously hasn't been tested yet, but that will effectively be one of the next major points in which, if we were to lose the support of where we're at presently, it'll come down to that area. Also, taking a look here, of course, let's go ahead and mark some lines here. Obviously, we got this major resistance line here at 88.45. We got a secondary resistance at about 76.81. And a third resistance at about 69.61. And very last, we'll just go ahead and mark the current support. So we're going to have a lot of lines on the chart, but these are all very important lines, right? These are kind of more dominant, more, I guess you could say, the more commonly referred to Fibonacci retracement lines. And simply put, the price is below this resistance here at about 69.50 and above right about 58.16. It's been on that channel for a few hours now, of course, actually more so about a full trading day. So to keep that in mind. But the bottom line here is that the price could very well do one of two things, right? We've got this descending wedge pattern that's forming. Oftentimes, descending wedge patterns do break to the downside. It would make sense with this being as overextended as it is, could break down. A different realization is the fact that it very well could break up and just probably hang out in this next channel here, of course. Again, all the examples I'm giving you are more traditional trading scenarios, right? Shiba Inu, it is proven to be more of a hype coin in that sense, whereas the price increases based on people buying in, knowing other people are buying it, right? Now that it's selling off, it could go sideways. It might actually become more of a traditional trading mechanic, I guess you could say, whereas it might actually honor some of those traditional things. But for the most part, you can tell that Shiba Inu kind of defies those laws of trading for the most part. But we got some good stuff going on here. The 50-day simple moving average is working its way up, and we've also got a nice support level here at about 58.62. So where it's going to go from here, it's hard to say specifically. The pattern itself does tell me that we might see a break to the downside soon. That price continuation could just keep going down further. The great news is there's a very strong support level here at about 5,000 and just above that as well at about 58.50. Let's take a quick look at the volume too while we're here and see what's going on. So looking at the volume for the last roughly just say 2 to 3 days. Tremendous amount of volume right where the price is at. So one thing I would like to kind of, I specify this with my community members and I try to provide this in examples. Anytime I take a position, it's helped to understand where the volume is at for the most part. In other words, we have a tremendous amount of volume right at about 65.70. That is a very good, strong support level that could hold the price up to bring it to the next level higher. In other words, there's a good chance the price could continue up to this next channel here between roughly about 69.60 and roughly 7,700. So let's just say 7,000 and 7,700. That is essentially the range that it could end up in. likely based on the fact that the volume, there's a lot of volume here. So, if it drops below, we're going to see probably a hard decrease where the price will probably keep going further, or people trying to, minimize their loss, or just a lot of hodlers right there at that point, and they're going to want to keep adding to their position if the price goes higher. So that will cause the price to go up. So to summarize, I can't tell you one way or the other which direction it's going to head specifically. This pattern does tell us that we should have a descending wedge pattern. In other words, the price should essentially break to the downside. That's traditionally how it works. But again, Shiba Inu is a lot different. It doesn't necessarily honor, the traditional ways in which coins are, progress, right? It's just kind of the way that it goes. But regardless of that fact, the thing that isn't true here, and very important to realize, according to Fibonacci retracement, we do have a strong support level here, right again about 5,800, and then of course the resistance at about 7,000. So we're kind of just figuring it out there. Based on what happens next, if the price comes down and bounces off the support level, it'd be a good idea to maybe consider adding to your position. If the price increases, wait for it to essentially establish itself above or below a resistance level. Therefore, we know specifically if it's going to continue to hold or not. All right. So just be cautious, of course. I always like to recommend that, and take profits while you still can. There's nothing wrong with taking profits now if you got in very, very early. Try not to hold on forever. I know that sounds crazy, but feel free to, consider trimming your position if nothing else. At least get some money out, so you're not going to be left, really, really sad if the price comes down to, 1,500, 2,000 range, right? That'd be unfortunate, but I've seen it happen a lot. So I always recommend best practice in that sense. And, again, feel free to join my Patreon community. I actually have a link in the description below with a descriptive video, so you understand kind of what that entails. But really just have a really awesome trading community. Everyone's growing and learning together. Really good group of folks there. We're all, pretty good friends now, and it's really awesome to kind of get to know everyone across the globe. So thank you so much for joining me here and watching this video. And obviously you have a consideration to check that out, where I send out signals every single trade that I take. I share those with my community members, all automated through a computerized trading bot. It's really fascinating, super cutting edge, and we just implemented that here recently. So really cool stuff. Anyways, thanks so much again for joining me. We'll see you in the next video. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.